Hi, 5 phrases to help you become more assertive. Hi, Kim here, chartered psychologist and cognitive behavioral psychotherapist, and I'm here to help you with all issues regarding assertiveness, how to become more assertive, how to recognize different styles of communication, and how to recognize and deal with anxiety, which often stop us from becoming assertive. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 useful phrases that you can start to use, which will help in your assertiveness journey. Because often we feel, especially women, worry that if we're starting to use assertive language, we may come across that way of being bullying or rude, and we find it difficult to change from our more passive way of communicating into assertiveness because of these fears that we have that we don't want to be seen as aggressive. However, if you start to use these 5 kind of phrases, which I'm going to outline here, you will find that your assertiveness will actually start to rise, and hopefully you won't feel guilty about it. So number 1 is to use clear-cut communication, which leaves little room then for manipulation. And what do I mean by this clear, concise communication? Well, if you are asked a yes or no question, you answer with yes or no. You don't use qualifiers, you don't start waffling. And what I mean by qualifiers are things like, if you don't mind, I'm crazy sometimes, or I don't know if this is going to be okay, but what do you think? So you're qualifying your statement. For example, if somebody asks you, can you take my late shift on Friday? You just say, no, it's not possible. If that is the case, you don't say, I hope you don't mind, or I've got so many things I've got to do, or I don't think it's going to be possible. I hope it's going to be okay. You don't use any qualifiers, because that gives the other person the impression that actually you can be manipulated, almost beaten down, and that you'll do what it is they want you to do. So do not use qualifiers, clear, concise communication, and answer a yes or no question with a yes or no answer. That may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. Can you work late tonight? No, I'm sorry, I can't. Don't say any more. Nothing more to be said. Silence can be your friend in that situation. Number 2, this is about using I statements and not bringing emotions into the situation. For example, you say, when you are late, it makes me feel. When you don't get your report to me on time, I feel that you're not pulling your weight as part of the team. You're using I statements. You're saying their behavior is impacting you in this way, and it makes you feel certain things. So you're using I want, I feel, I need. You are not putting it on the other person, saying, you've done a terrible job, you've upset everybody. When you behave like that, everyone is annoyed. You made me do. No, you don't say any of those things. It's just a very clear, concise, when you do X, I feel Y. Emotions are out of it. So that's number 3, focusing on the facts. You're focusing on someone's behavior. You're not bringing any emotion into it. So it doesn't kind of escalate. You're not accusing anybody. You're stating the facts. Facts don't care about your feelings. Facts are facts. You were late last week 3 times. That's a fact. You're not having a go at the person. You're not calling them a terrible name. You are just stating the facts. Your report was late this week. That's a fact. You don't need to, again, use qualifiers here. You are just stating the facts. And this can be sometimes a little difficult to do at first, because especially as women, we're often used to kind of softening down what we say. And even if it is a fact, we might kind of like fudge around it a little bit. But just stating the facts, that's it. And again, silence is your friend. You let the other person then talk and explain themselves. You just keep emotion completely out of it. State the facts. Number 4, you don't overreact in the moment. You say something like, if things are getting out of hand, I can see that you're feeling extremely frustrated at the moment. I suggest we park this at the moment and come back to it in the morning where we can discuss it. You're not being aggressive, you're not overreacting, you are being assertive, but you're not being a doormat. You're not letting someone walk over you. You kind of it's almost like this kind of thing. Let's just park this, we'll come back to it tomorrow. And that's a very assertive gesture. You're not being aggressive. You're just, let's park it. Let's leave it there. I can see you're frustrated. We'll pick this up tomorrow. And again, silence is your friend at that point. You don't go on and on and on. You are being assertive, not aggressive in that situation. And number 5, you want to be precise in your statements. And this is something I did struggle with. I would always try and be sort of overly accommodating. Or what time would you like to meet? Let me know on the day, rather than saying, I can meet at 1, 2 doesn't work for me, which was quite often the case. Not necessarily we had to meet somebody at 1, but that's just an example. I would say, well, it's up to you. Let me know what you think. Let me know when you want to meet, rather than actually qualifying my statement, telling them what time I could meet and telling them what time I couldn't meet, so that just wouldn't be possible at that point. You can always renegotiate. You can come up with a workable compromise if neither of you can organise the same time to meet the next day. There's usually something that can be worked out. If you're both being assertive, a workable compromise is always on the table. But do be precise in your statements. Don't waffle, don't go on, and don't just stand back and allow the other person to kind of bulldoze you. Again, don't use qualifiers. Oh, I could meet at 1, but if it's not okay for you, if you can't make it, then don't worry, I can rearrange things. No, I can meet at 1, 2 doesn't work for me. You're very precise. You're not being aggressive again. You're being very assertive. You're not trying to do anybody down. You're not trying to win at any cost. You're always open to a compromise. So there are 5 assertive phrases that you can start to incorporate into your assertiveness repertoire. It can be quite difficult initially to start using these, and I always suggest that practicing and role-playing these is a really great way of getting used to them, because they kind of like they get primed in the brain, so that when you need to access it, it's there. So find someone that you trust, write out these statements, and actually start to role play them with the other person. You'll find it will actually pay dividends. And always remember, silence is your friend. Once you've made your statement or said your phrase, be quiet. Don't use qualifiers. Sit on your hands, because it's very hard when you've been used to using qualifiers to not use them. But resist, resist, resist. Don't use qualifiers, and ask the person who you are role-playing this with to almost give you a penalty for every qualifier that you use, or every time you don't stay silent once you've made your statement. And you can make a bit of fun with it, but it really will pay dividends if you can role-play it. If you just write it on a piece of paper or think about it, it kind of stays as an idea rather than something which you are actually actively doing. So practice, 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 rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Always gets the best results. So if you find this video, please subscribe to my channel, press the like button, and if you think it would be beneficial to anyone else, please share my video. Log on to my website, kimravel.com, where I've got lots of other videos about assertiveness and anxiety, how to manage anxiety, how to recognize anxiety, because if we're not assertive, that will increase our levels of anxiety because we don't trust ourselves in certain situations. Also, I have a free How to Be More Assertive starter kit, which you can find on my website. So please subscribe to that, download. It's completely free and gives you lots of tips on how to become more assertive and how to recognize the different styles of communication. Thank you for your company, and I'll see you in the next video.